Hi, everybody. Welcome to the QB School. I am JT O'Sullivan. Today, Shedeur Sanders, last preseason game, 2025, locked in, not necessarily fired up, but we are here. We're going to dive into the film, see what's what. Let's get it going. Welcome to the QB School. Before we dive into the video, a quick reminder about the Quarterback School Patreon community. This group is the foundation, the bedrock of the channel. It is a great, inexpensive way to get even more Quarterback School content. So if you dig this type of video, you will love the Quarterback School Patreon community. Hop over there, join. I appreciate your support. Quick kind of preface before we dive into this video. Probably need to just say earmuffs right here. I think I say it maybe early and then it just kind of bleeds off and I totally forget about it. So I apologize about some of the language. You get what you get. Okay, I'm trying to be a real authentic take here. Preseason film gets muddy, gets messy, locked in. Let's get it going. Shedeur Sanders, last preseason game, 2025. It's rough out there. It's rough out there, coach. 3 completions, 5 sacks. Not the ratio we're looking for. There's a lot to kind of be, we'll say, frustrated with. You could also flip that and say lots of opportunities to get better. I'm not sure that there are going to be a whole lot of opportunities to showcase that anytime soon. To me here, a few things. I'm going to make sure I try to do my best to kind of talk through some of the scheme things that I might have a question with. I think they switch release this up into an in, like with a little bit of a crosser. Now, the thing, we're not in the quarterback room. Can't tell you for sure what the read is. But a play like this where everyone is essentially running up and going to their right, you would almost guarantee to read this across the board, right to left, just because everything's coming into your vision. A few things I will say about just the design of it, because we take a pretty bad sack on a play similar to this later. This to me is a little sticky. This to me is more like speed outy. I just don't like how this is in the same kind of line for the quarterback. Again, just me. Okay. Now, again, you're not going to find somebody who's played as much preseason football as I have that tells you that they hate quick outs more than I do. I hate quick outs, but I would prefer a quick out here with a normal split just for the spacing. What I want you to see from a quarterback perspective is the spacing here is tough. And then again, would you love to say, hey, instead of essentially getting locked on one, so this idea of kind of being locked on where your eyes are to start, just, move, reset, get back, find the backside, whatever it is, switch release, in is there, crosser maybe, but it can be all of this. And this is why it's hard to make sense of. So the first thing we're going to do is just watch the spacing down here to the bottom. See how they're in the same lane? From a quarterback perspective, that's not me being a fucking homer, okay? Earmuff, sorry. That's not me being like, just look. That's not great, Bob. Okay, and again, hey man, this is not me tooting my horn. I've played a lot of preseason football. It sucks back there sometimes. You can't just say, okay, I'm just going to like this, like it's recess. You've got to be disciplined enough to get back to the backside. No. Yes. And again, easy for me to say, okay, years later, okay, with a clicker and a marker. But again, you can see the read. You want to make a team. You want to be a guy moving up the depth chart. Slide, reset, get backside. Instead, it's actually a decent job from the tight end here. This is a kind of a cool little thing that you see a lot of teams that play at a high level, I would say actually do this a little bit better than this. So when you get to the sideline, I'll let it run here a second and show you exactly on the sideline, but a good sideline drill. So if you're the guy who's flat in the flat area on a scramble drill, so we'll call this scramble drill, he's broken the pocket. Instead of coming over here and just stopping, or even worse, running out of bounds, what you want to do here is you get a few yards from the sideline, and what you usually take 2 hard steps up the field. Hard, even in versus tight coverage like this. Hard steps up the field, and then come back inside the side hash. And this is like an indicator for the quarterback. Once he sees you turn, he knows you're coming out. It's like a built-in little mini comeback. So that part of it, could be a little bit, I prefer 2 steps. This guy does 1, but we're able to scramble and like manufacture a completion. Okay, so that part of it is good. Spacing down here sucks. I would love to see him get through the read as opposed to leaking and just kind of like floating out of the pocket. Again, I know it's easy to just say, hey, we need you to hang in the pocket here. I'm not necessarily thinking hang in the pocket, but move, reset your feet, get through the read, or just hang in the pocket. Again, not easy to do from a right tackle perspective. You just can't get beat inside. And again, preseason offensive line, good luck. Find a completion. It's one of them. Oh, baby. All right, next one here, 3rd medium. Again, condensed formation. Short little slow motion cheetah down here to the bottom. 3rd down, medium. It's not there. We leave the pocket again. Run. Don't get anywhere close to a competitive 3rd down look. Again, hey, man, you're going to get tired of me saying this, but just look at the pocket. You can't bail. You just can't bail like that. There's no way to sugarcoat it. We got to hang in there. We got to get to a read. And then if you get out and run and your life depends on it, your livelihood depends on it. I'm not saying you're going to get a 1st down there, but I want to see more competitive juice, more competitive spirit, and go try to get a 1st down. We're running out of bounds, 3rd and 4. It looks like we're trying to like protect our completion percentage, which is laughable. This to me is a play you see a decent amount of in the league. Some variation. I'm assuming the ball's probably supposed to go here. I would imagine this is a choice route, meaning he could go in, he goes out. Sometimes they allow you to go to the slant or to the short post. Right here, it's paired with what I would classify as a comeback or a hinge out here. And then we'll check swing, check wide, outlet. It looks like it's also paired what I'm used to calling a swirl or a return down here to the bottom. So lots of different ways to read this. I think 1, 2, 3. Again, I prefer the outlet going the other way on this type of play on the same side as the return. But you could make the argument 1, 2, 3. You could make the argument 1, 2. What you can't, in my opinion, do is say, whatever this is, okay, if you don't like this route sucks. It's clamped up. I'm not throwing this either. I don't like that either. But I do like hanging in the pocket and getting back to this. I do like seeing if we can allow this to win. I do like saying, hey, this is there. So all this blue, any of these could be number 2. And I'm not sure, this guy wins down here, but it's better than you running and not getting a competitive scramble for a 1st down. So we don't have to know exactly what the read is. No to the tight end up top. Yeah, that's clamped. This is not what you want. Could you get it here? He's already running. Where's he going? He doesn't even give it a hitch. And again, I'm not saying the left tackle isn't getting pushed back a little, but they're running a game, man. That's not even the defensive end. You can't do that. And again, it doesn't matter if you're the 4th-string guy, 5th-string guy. It doesn't matter if it's, the 2-minute drive of the last preseason of maybe your life. It doesn't matter. You cannot bail like this. That looks like a college spring game rep for a guy who is, got to campus early. It just can't happen. All right, next one here, big play action, 12 personnel. This looks like double post with that kind of sniffer running a crosser route. We're going to end up missing the hookup on a check down. We've got all sorts of pass pro issues here. So again, not going to gloss over the fact that we're getting hit. We've got multiple guys taking L's up front. Center L, left guard L, ball through running back's hands. A better ball there. Sure, the easy way to say this is for a running back, you want to make it easy on them. You don't expect them to make extended catches like that. Now, if they do, that's great. And would we love them to? Absolutely. Okay, my bigger thing here is I don't love this play. So I'm actually unfamiliar with this play in the NFL. This to me is double post with a crosser. This to me is very high school Harry, like same routes on both sides on the outside. You just don't see it very often. What you normally see is the crosser and an in to give you this kind of 1-2 if the alert or the big post isn't there. There's almost no reason why you would ever do post crosser, because if you were looking at this post, it would be really hard to come back to the crosser too. So it just doesn't make sense to me. Now, from a quarterback perspective, post play action here, can't stay back here. As you get up in the pocket, could you throw this with this runaway? If that's the design of the play and this is one, I probably think you could, man. It's not going to be an easy throw. You're going to get hit from interior pressure, but you get hit anyways. So again, the decision-making, the pocket movement, coupled with some of the design elements here, it's tough. Again, my eyes keep gravitating to the double post just because it doesn't make sense to me. But up in the pocket, up, over. So back foot hits, get up in the pocket, reset, and throw this. You're going to get hit. Yep. Okay. Now let's pretend like we're Shedeur. You can't, you don't think you can do it. Up in the pocket, a little bit better of a throw, maybe a little bit more touch as opposed to so much of a heater. And the running back could catch it. Help us out, dog. We're all teammates out here. Help us out. Catch the damn ball. It's all of those things. And that's why it looks like, honestly, that's why it looks like shit. But could he hit his back foot and throw that crosser? Yes. Yes, he could. Would he get hit? Yep. He gets hit anyway. And I think the thing for me that is most frustrating about why he doesn't throw this crosser is the only reason you wouldn't throw it is if your eyes are down. Like, he's not in a position to throw it there. He doesn't even get one hitch off. Up, keep your throwing position, throw it. As he hitches up, he's hitching to run. Like, he's hitching to get into an athletic position to get out of there, as opposed to keeping that base, eyes down the field, deliver, throw. Next one here, 3rd and longish. I think this 3rd and 9. End up giving like 7-person pass pro. A lot of people will call this Hank. To me, this is not Hank. The bones of why this sucks is the same as Hank. And we can talk about it. But this is one of those plays where 3rd and forever, they give you a zone beater. They play man. You don't have an answer. Get out, extend, create. If this was a perfect ball, it would be a great, unbelievable throw. Is it going to be hard to hook that up? Hell yeah, it's going to be hard to hook that up. So again, what are we talking about play-wise here? Deep, sit over the ball. Hook or curl. Hook or curl. Now you'll be like, well, if you're a fan of the channel, you've heard me say this many different times. Straight up Hank would be sit, hook, flat, hook, flat. To me, there you don't have to do flats per se, but this sit versus this deep hook is what's the difference between this play, what I'm used to calling oceans, just deep hooks, versus true Hank. The bones of why this sucks are the same. So why this sucks is because all these 3 routes are static routes, meaning that the wide receivers are running and stopping. Even if technically they're supposed to run back to the ball, they're stopping their feet and changing direction. And so you don't have an opportunity to run away from someone. So when the defender matches to it, the corner matches to it, it's man to man, there's nowhere to go with the ball. So you might say, all right, smartass, what would you do different? All right, this is not that hard. You want to run this deep over the hook, over the ball hook? You want to run curl to one side? All right, well, give me some sort of runaway down here. Give me shallow. Give me any sort of runaway. So again, what do you want Shedeur to do at the pocket? There's nothing you can do here, bro. Dead. Maybe you just say, hey, eat it. Good luck. you get a completion. I think a more veteran guy would hit his back foot and just throw this, either one of these. But again, I know where all the bones are buried on this play. This play sucks. You got to get the ball out of your hand. You're trying to hit a deep scramble rail to a running back. It's just not going to happen. Plus, this guy looks slow. He's not running away from this guy. It's good vision. The ball's too flat. There's not enough touch on it. And, you're not throwing to McCaffrey here. Like, it's one of those things where it's not set up for success scheme-wise. It's good pass pro. There's no real where to go with the ball for a first down. We miss a big play opportunity down the field. Do you expect to hit this? I don't. Maybe more touch, give your guy a chance, but that's a running back. It's going to be tough. Next one here, one of the few completions. We're going to hit the flat up top. 5-person pass pro. This to me is spot or snag up top. With kind of a double slant down here to the bottom. Again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, I know how the Browns are reading this. I will say there's a lot of different ways to do it. The other thing I would say here is, again, let's just pretend that he makes the right read. So this is what I'll call a spot route, spot concept, flat, little spot with a corner. For me here, with rotation down this way, meaning the safety is going down this way, this type of play versus zone, you'd almost always want to read the flat defender. So what that means is, can we tell what this flat defender, as he comes down from the heavens here, is he running towards the flat? Is he going to catch and tackle this flat? Can we see his momentum moving this way, his body language, his angle of his shoulders, all that? If that's the case, we'd probably want to go here with the ball. See, this is what it's called reading, seeing the flat defender, seeing the defender's language, body language, speed, level, what the ceiling's doing of the defense. So I personally think the ball probably should go to the spot. Again, you might say 6 one, half dozen to the other, whatever. It's a completion. All right. Whatever. I would also say a lot of teams would say, hey, if we get rotation this way, let's just come back and work whatever the hell this is. Slant, short in. Again, maybe this is closed, open. I don't know how they're reading it. In fact, I don't really care. But I will say, if you're going to work up top versus zone, the ball probably should go to the spot. So again, as he goes to throw this, you can see the flat defender here. Let's just watch that flat defender. He's working out. He's working wide the whole time. He's working down and out and over, and feel that and then feel that space right there. Now again, I acknowledge splitting hairs. It's a completion, but even the completion doesn't feel like it's the right completion when you turn on the film. Again, 2nd and long, trying to get half back. We get half a yard. Again, to me, not my favorite footwork in the world, whatever this is supposed to be. Again, if you watch Sanders play, and again, we on this channel watched every snap last year, he drifts. This is a drifting type of drop. Catch, 1 step or 2 step, get ready to throw. Again, we're reading the flat defender, read mouthpiece on the left coming down. Maybe he kind of tweeners you right there. You could make the argument. But he sure looks like he wants to get to the flat the whole time. Oh, man. Frustrating. Tough. Completion, tackle. All right, next one here. Another sack. This time we can't hold on to the ball. This, again, part of these things with the eval process to me is tough, because if we were in the quarterback room and we knew exactly what the drop was supposed to be, I think it would be easier. To me, this type of concept pairs with a gun 3-step drop. That would make what Sanders is doing here drifty. 1, 2, 3, 4. So just drop wise here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He never even gets a 5th step. So what I'm saying here drop wise is we don't have to be in the quarterback room. Is this 3 or is this 5? Because if it's 5, it's not a good drop from him. He's drifting the whole time. You gotta trust it to take 5, hitch. I don't care if this guy is not getting enough depth and width and turns sideways and is not playing very well. You have to be able to do your drop every time quarterback wise. So whatever it is, if it's 3, it's wrong. If it's 5, it sucks. So we're already off to a rough start with this one. 1, 2, 3, yeah. And then we just don't even feel the backside. We can't protect the ball. Not easy to do from that part of it. But I think it makes the play down the field look even worse because there certainly is stuff there down the field. Do we know what the read is? I don't. I can tell you that, the screenshot warriors probably love this because, this to me is not there. We've got a shallow coming this way. This basic hunt in sure looks like it's there. This, whatever this is supposed to be, if you read this thing out, you probably take a good peek versus middle field closed man, but we're probably working this high low right here, and it's probably something like this, or 1, 2, 3, vice versa. And yeah, is this open? Hell yeah, it is. Would we have enough time to take 3, hitch up in the pocket, or over and buy some time? Probably not. Could we take 3, hitch, feel the escape, stay on the run, make this play? Probably. It would be a really nice play. Again, nothing easy about this. So screenshot warrior, got to throw this, must throw it. Well, we're already getting tackled. Okay. Drop wise again. 1, 2, 3, is that what it's supposed to be? Hitch up. If that's the case, you'd hitch, you'd feel this right tackle take an L inside. So both your tackles are taking L's. Now you got to go. Maybe then you throw it. So again, I think the footwork here for Sanders is not helping him at all. The pass pro, both tackles, turnstiles, got to hold on to the ball. It's tough. It's tough, man. It's tough out there in the preseason. It's tough out there. Could we, have some better play calling to get the ball out of our hand quicker? Maybe. At least this time we got runaway opportunities. But again, to me, the drop is not going to work for most concepts. The pass pro sure as hell is not going to work. Make a decision. Go. Be faster. Be more explosive. Hard to protect the ball there, but man, that's tough. Tough. Halftime, you dig the channel and you haven't already, please like, subscribe. Hit the bell, get the notifications. I really do appreciate you subscribing to the channel. It means a lot to me, so thank you for taking the time and doing that. Again, the Quarterback School Patreon community, you know about it. Join, become a member, get even more Quarterback School content. We also have Quarterback School courses. You can check out the courses over at theqbschool.com, the website. Hop over there, check them out, and enroll. Then finally, make sure to follow me across all the social media platforms. I appreciate your support. As for this video, let's get back to it. Next one here, little naked keeper out of 12 personnel, 3x1 wing. Shows a nice little move here with the slow spin, gets out of there. And then this last part to me, it just doesn't make sense to me. And it's really I probably overreact to this more than anybody But to me, this is a sign of just low football IQ. This is a bad play. This is someone who's trying to protect his completion percentage. Or has just a poor understanding of what's going on with ball, because this is a sack. Fucking, this just can't happen, man. So naked play action keeper. As you get out of here, you have to have a plan. Worst case scenario, someone's right in the mesh point. This to me is not a great scenario. He comes flat, but for some reason we stop here. Again, most situations where it's in this naked keeper world, you would want to stay on the run. The only time you would stop is if you knew you had a throw. So if you want to throw whatever's in the flat here and there's no one there, great. Flip your hips, get a great base and throw it. There's almost always something in the over. And from a condensed formation, there's almost always something to the corner. So say there's, for whatever reason, let's pretend like he doesn't stop here. He does it, what I would say correctly, and just stays on the run. You're outside the pocket. Worst case scenario, this goes back to the line of scrimmage, which is what? The 48. That's the worst case scenario. You get outside here, you get an incompletion. You throw it away, you throw it at the feet of the flat. If you were to stay out here, maybe you have a chance at the corner. So he flips his hips. So that's the first part. We set up to throw. Okay, not for me. We get out of there. We escape the first one. Okay, good for you. Good for you. Show some escapability. But then we look really slow running away, and we're getting hawked. And then this is the part that I just cannot get over, is running out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. Losing yards. That's a sack. It's the fastest way to fucking piss off offensive linemen and offensive line coaches and anybody who gives a shit about offensive stats. It just cannot happen. You know, back in the day, Mike McCarthy used to call these Elvis Gerbach sacks from his days in Kansas City. So flat, okay, you don't like him? Over, too slow. You know, maybe you like the corner if you were to keep rolling out. Okay, now the move. Oh, the move looks pretty good. A little elusiveness. Whoop. But now we are not running fast. And then you have to throw this ball away. You have to. You have to. And you might be saying, man, you are overreacting for 2 yards. All right, well then you've never looked at a game stat sheet as a coordinator or as an offensive line coach. These will drive you bananas. Bananas. Throw it away. It comes across as having a poor understanding of what we're trying to do offensively. Oh my God. Just loose with the ball. Not looking fast. Again, the guy who's chasing him doesn't look fast either. I mean, that's a great move. And now we are just, and we run out of bounds. Holy shit. All right, the next one here, this is just a absolutely brutal sack. There is just no way to go around it. We're working backwards. We're outside the pocket. We're going backwards again. It just looks like we think we're faster and more elusive than we are. No understanding of taking just a terrible negative sack here and essentially sabotaging this entire series right here. You got no chance. Outside the pocket, at minimum, you have to throw it away there. Just hard to understand and make sense of. Now, again, these are not excuses. This is just reality. This type of spacing is not for me. It's just not. Okay, the last time we saw this play, the first play of this video, it was more stick with this. Even then, the spacing, this is just condensed. I don't understand the spacing. If you're going to run it like this, you would need to run a spray out and a deeper kind of sticky route. When any type of like same lane to me, it just doesn't make sense. And again, I'm not saying that this is there. It's not there. I don't like it either. Get to the backside. Get to this in. It's just, we're not playing Colorado State. We're just fucking not. Like the design, the spacing to me is not good enough. Furthermore, I want the check down to the other side so that you do have to go left to right. Again, we're working backwards. You know, if we're working up in the pocket here, the ball has to go here. It just, I can help with the front side understanding of not throwing it. I mean, this route by the number 1 down here to the bottom, this is a route you would get pissed at in like a men's over 40 league that I see the highlights on, like on social media. That route sucks. That route to me says, Enterprise, working the counter here soon. That's no shot at Enterprise. That's just, we're not running routes like that on Sundays. But taking that sack is brutal. That is a brutal, terrible sack. Again, he never even gets to the end, right? His eyes just go down. And it's been his problem. He's been a retreat backwards pocket guy, eyes down, the way he's played. That's no like, well, that's a hot fucking take. Bro, if you think that's a hot take, you never watch the All-22 of Colorado. He never gets to the end. Front side to our right, back to that crosser. He's out. You got to get through the whole read. You got to get through it. And then the decision here, okay, right here, at a minimum, you throw it away. You cannot keep playing this type of like hero ball shit and take that kind of sack. You just can't, man. Fuck, that's bad. Next one here, another bad sack. I'm assuming this is supposed to be Hos Juke. Again, I can't make sense of, the pocket movements, the backwards, the retreating. That's a default thing for him. It looks like he's trying to rip the hitch. It looks like he's got the juke there. It certainly is loose with the ball. Unfortunate that's not a fumble. But, I can only sit here and say, here's the hitch part of Hos Juke. Here, to me, I think these are supposed to be seams. Now, these seams are not good routes. Again, preseason. Don't get it twisted. I know it sucks. I know more than you about preseason football. It sucks out there with some routes you get sometimes. That's not me making excuses. That's anecdotal evidence from a decade of playing in the preseason. It can be gnarly out there. So, yeah, would I love these seams to be better? Yeah. At a minimum, it looks like he's thinking about coming out here and ripping the hitch. Be fine. Be decisive. At an absolute minimum, this ball has to be thrown. There's no excuses about me saying, this guy, will be a financial, sector bro in a heartbeat. Like that. We can make all the jokes you want, but the ball has to come out to the juke here. So could you rip the hitch at the bottom? Yeah. For whatever reason, he doesn't throw it. Again, not my favorite drop, not my favorite footwork. Seam routes, to me, not my favorite route. Whatever that route is, that's terrible. But the ball has to come to the tight end. Because he wins, it's there, it's on time, it's on schedule. Instead, we're retreating backwards, we're loose with the ball. You can see the juke here come open. So whatever we're reading first, the ball has to go to 97 right there. It has to. We're retreating backwards, It almost looks like he's these are like quarterback drills you would do like in a park by yourself, going backwards, shuffle backwards, move around, shuffle backwards, create, get out. The fucking play is there on time. Yeah, I apologize with all the earmuff stuff, but this is real life. This is people's livelihoods. Throw the ball. Oh my God. And again, good two hands on it right there. But that is danger world. Oh my God, bad ball. Next one here, completion up top to the tight end on a little pivot gather with a little wrap in. This to me was really the only play of all of these pass plays, throws, sacks, that I thought was good all the way around from Shedeur, where there were no question marks. The ball gets out to the right guy. It's out on time. It's second and long. He's able to put it right on him. This is what you have to do every opportunity you get. This can't be the anomaly. You can't have one rep that makes sense. Okay, there's that little pivot gather. Here's that wrap in or mini hammer right behind it. Again, we're trying to get somebody to drive down on this, but if this is there, you put it right on him. It's exactly what he does. It's exactly correct. It's a little unsettling that this is the only play that looked this clean for me. Footwork, timing, base, ball out. Now, it's not a world beater of a throw, but that there are, you can do it. It's me trying to make sense of what the hell is going on here. But man, this was a rough day, and this was the one clean completion in my opinion. Last one here. This is a rough one on a few different levels to me here. This could have been a really nice play, really special play. Again, I think he's living on so much on the edge with what he does in the pocket. Could the back catch this? Absolutely. Do I expect the back to be able to catch this all the time? Probably not. It's a little bit behind him. It looks like it's thrown with a little bit of heat on it. But my goodness, it could have been a super special play. We got to catch that ball. Again, if it's a wide receiver, you have to. If it's a back, you're going to be surprised if he catches that ball. There just aren't a lot of backs that make catches like that going across the field. There just aren't. It's not to say that that's, a terribly thrown ball by Shedeur. It's not. What I do have a problem with is whatever this play is supposed to be, it looks like it's supposed to be a choice route, maybe an out route here from this short motion to get to a stack. Okay, I like that idea. If it's not there, don't throw it. This to me is mesh coming back across this way. So I would guess a lot of money that this read is maybe you alert this if you like it. We're trying to go 1 here, 2 here. you know, to me here, you have to throw this ball. Again, it's just hard to look like it's there on schedule, on time, and these balls not thrown. Again, to me, he's a drifter. He leaks to his left. You know, this, I'm okay with not throwing that. He's already running. What is this drop? What is that drop? It's just backwards panic. We're in full preseason panic mode here. And again, I'm not saying it's easy. Yo, I guarantee, not a guarantee, there's a strong likelihood that I have taken more preseason dropbacks than you. This is what it feels like in the second half of a preseason game. It can feel like it's a tidal wave. You still have to have the discipline to hit your back foot on the drop, not go backwards. So we're going backwards. Okay, no to the out down here to the bottom, yes to the mesh. You just have to throw it. It's there on time, it's on schedule, throw it. Instead, we're retreat running up, eyes all over the place, chaos, spin around, balls going different hands, throwing balls late across the middle. And sure, it could be caught. But fuck, man, it was there on time. Just get through the read. Again, look at the drift of the drop. We end up over the left guard. That's why it feels like there's pressure in our lap, because we're not in the center of the pocket. Oh, shit. So we never even get a hitch off to throw the ball. Our eyes are down. We're running. One hand on the ball. We're spinning around. We switch the ball. One hand on the right hand of the ball. Left hand of the ball. Spin around again, right hand on the ball. Now, at least our eyes pop up there and we see that, but the ball's behind us. So this play, just kind of a small microcosm of what it's like watching this film. It's chaos. It's chaos. And then it just doesn't work out. So that is a wrap. Shedeur Sanders, preseason, up, down, all over the place. Okay, I think I did a decent job of kind of providing the context of what it's like in the preseason, specifically late preseason games. It can get messy. It's gnarly. It's not easy. All that being said, you got to play better. You got to be able to stand in the pocket, go 1-2, go 1-2-3, protect the ball a little bit better. And we can acknowledge the fact that there are some design things that make things tougher with some of these pass plays. But man, we can't be running out of bounds. We can't be taking terrible sacks. We can't have more sacks than completions. It just can't happen. There's no way to sugarcoat it. You can't find the narrative in there that says, like, golly, that doesn't, they're trying to do this to them. Like, when you're outside the pocket, you got to throw it away. You've got to be able to hit your back foot of your drop, of whatever the drop is. Whatever the drop is, you hit your back foot, and you got to give yourself a chance. You can't be in retreat mode, eyes down, before you even hit the top of your drop. And again, the pass pro in the preseason sucks. It is what it is. Some of the routes are run by guys that will not be playing football for that much longer. I get it. Still have to do your job. Still have to try, fight through there, hang in there, be able to step up, make a throw down the field, get hit, stare down the barrel, all those types of things. We can't be drifting in the pocket every other drop. We can't be retreating backward every drop. We can't continue to not hit our back foot on whatever the drop is supposed to be. We don't even have to be in the quarterback room to realize every other drop doesn't even have a back foot where we're able to hit that back top of the drop and make a throw. Again, not necessarily my opinion. It's on the film. We just watched it. So, I think if you just randomly turned this film on and you didn't know anything of the story, the hype, the draft, whose son it is, you would look at this film and be like, this is someone who is not ready to be on an NFL roster right now. Maybe that's just the circumstance of whatever this preseason was. Maybe that's where his game is right now. Maybe just one snapshot. But man, that was real poor film. And you hope for any player you get an opportunity to bounce back from that. When it's the last preseason opportunity, it's tough because that will eat at you for a long time. Hopefully he gets another opportunity on the field soon, but I don't know how you would be able to watch that film in that building and be like, yeah, we're going to roll with this anytime soon. It just doesn't look like it. So let me know if you disagree. Thank you so much for hanging to the end. I will see you next time. Have a good one.